Hey Odoo enthusiast, welcome to Cybrosys. In today's video, I'll be talking about the installation of Odoo 18 in Server. So there are three ways in which you can install Odoo in Server. The first one is logging with a username and IP address, and the second method is using PEM key, and the third method is using a specific port. So in today's video, we will be talking about how to log in into server using username and IP address and the installation of Odoo in the server by using this method. So you can also just go with the other method by the specific port or using the PEM key. What you just need to have is a specific port number or the PEM key address. So let's move on to the video to check more about it. Depending on your setup, you can log in using different methods, and here are three common ways. The first one is logging in with a user name and IP address. So if your server uses the default SSH port and no special authentication, you can just go with the following command. To set this following command, first we have to open the terminal. Use Ctrl-Alt-T in order to open the terminal, and now we just need to provide the command SSH and the username. My username is Cybrosys, so I'll be using that, Cybrosys at. Now you just need to provide the IP address of your network. So let me provide the IP address of my network, which is 10.0.20.171, and click on enter. Now here you can see that we are just getting, are you sure you want to continue connecting? So if you want to continue connecting, you can just click on yes. Like you can provide yes over here, and again click on enter. Now we just need to provide the password of the network. So I'll be providing my password, and afterwards again click on enter. Currently we have entered into the server. Now we just need to install Odoo in the server. In order to install the Odoo in the server, I will show you the blog of Cybrosys and how to install that. So first we have to, before installing Odoo 18, it is essential to ensure that your Ubuntu 24.04 server is set up to date, and this ensures that you have the latest security patches and software update. Now let's move on to the blog. And here you can see that you can use this blog to set up your Odoo 18 in the server. So here we are just going to go with the update the server. So I'll be using the command from here. Let me copy the command, and let's move on to the terminal and use Ctrl-Shift-V in order to paste it, and click on enter, and provide the password of your system, and again click on enter. And here you can see how it's been fetching. Now we just need to upgrade the installed package, and this command install the latest versions of the package in your server. So you can use sudo apt get upgrade, and click on enter. And here you can see we have provided the second command. Now these commands may take a few minutes to complete depending on the number of updates available and all. Now we just need to secure the server. Okay, so securing your server is very important to protect from unauthorized access and potential attacks. So you can follow these steps to enhance the server security. So first we just need to install the Open SSH server, and this package ensures that your server can accept SSH connections, which is essential for remote management. So I'll be using the command, which is sudo apt get install Open SSH server. So copy that, and let's move on to the terminal. Use Ctrl-Shift-V and click on enter. Now we just need to install the fail to ban. This tool helps to protect your server from brute force attack by monitoring log files for failed login attempts and banning suspicious IP address. So here you can just copy the command, and let's move on to the terminal and provide the command over here, and go with yes in order to continue. Now after the installation, we just need to start the fail to ban service and enable it to start automatically on boot. So I'll be copying the code from here. Now we just need to start the fail to ban. So use Control Shift V to paste the command, and afterwards we just need to enable the fail to ban. So here you can see that we have the other command. So copy it and let's move on to the terminal, and again use Control Shift V and click on enter. Now we just need to verify fail to ban status. To ensure that fail to ban is running correctly, you can check it with the status. So you can copy the code. Now again move on to the terminal and provide the command over here. Currently you can see that fail to ban is running and everything is okay. Now we just need to exit from this. Now use Control C in order to get out of from this. So currently you can see that it's running and the server is ready, and we are securing our server with these steps, and that will protect from common threats and unauthorized access. So once your server is secured, you can proceed with Odoo 18 installation. Now we're gonna install Odoo 18. For that you can just use the packages and libraries. So here you can see we can just use the other command called sudo apt-get install -y python 3 pip. So let me copy the command and let's move on to the terminal. So use the terminal to give the command. Now click on enter, and here you can see it's working. So once the installation is done, we have to install the development libraries and dependencies, and these libraries are necessary for building and running Odoo and its dependencies. So we can just use the command, and let's move on to the terminal and use Control Shift V to give it in the terminal and click on enter. So once it's done, we just need to install the Node.js and NPM. Node.js is required for front-end task, and NPM is a package manager. So you can use the command, and let's move on to the terminal again and use Control Shift V in order to set the command in the terminal and click on enter. Now we want to create a symlink for the Node.js. Sometimes Node.js is installed as Node.js, but some application expect Node. So we just need to create a symlink to ensure the compatibility. So here you can see the command, and let's use the command to create the symlink for Node.js. Now use Control Shift V and click on enter. Now these steps install all necessary package and libraries that supports the Odoo 18 installation. Once completed, you will have all prerequisites in the place of the next setup in the installation process. Now we just need to set up the database server. For doing that, here you can see that Odoo 18 requires PostgreSQL as its database management, and we have to follow these steps to install the PostgreSQL. So first we're gonna install the PostgreSQL. To install that, you can use the command. So let me copy the command and let's move on to the terminal and use Control Shift V in order to paste the command in the terminal and click on enter. Now we want to switch to the PostgreSQL user, and PostgreSQL uses its user account for the database management. So switch this account to create a new database user. So for that, you can just copy the command and let's move on to the terminal, and again use Control Shift V in order to give it over here and click on enter. And once it's done, here you can see that we have entered into the Postgres, and we just need to create a new database user. To create a user for Odoo with the permission to create database, you will be prompted to enter a password. So here you can see that create user, create DB, username Postgres, no create role super user PW prompt Odoo 18. So create DB allows the user to create the database, and username Postgres specifies the Postgres SQL super user, and no create control no creator role prevent the user from creating roles, and super user grant super user privilege. So in order to set that, you can copy the command and set it in the terminal. So use Control Shift V, and here you can provide that and click on enter. Now we just need to provide the password. So I'll be providing the password over here, and you can enter it again. And afterwards, we have to just go with exiting the Postgres SQL user session to return into the regular user account. So we can exit this. So currently we have logged out from the Postgres SQL. Now we just need to create a system user for Odoo. So that will be a dedicated system user for the Odoo that ensures the application runs with the appropriate permission and does not interfere with other system browsers. So we can add a new system user. To create a new system user with the home directory where Odoo will be installed, I'll be using the command sudo add user system home opt Odoo 18 group Odoo 18. So you can copy the command, and let's move on to the terminal. And again, use Control Shift V in order to paste the command in the terminal and click on enter. Now what we have to use is this ensures that the Odoo has a dedicated user and database for managing its operations securely. Now you are ready to proceed with the Odoo installation and configuration. So we just need to get Odoo 18 Community Edition from the GitHub. To install the Odoo 18, you have to clone Odoo repository from the GitHub, and we just need to follow these steps. So first we just need to install Git, and Git version control system let you to need to clone the Odoo repository. So you can copy the command again and again move on to the terminal and use Control Shift V to paste the command, and we just need to wait. Everything is set, and we just need to switch to the Odoo system user, like logging in as the Odoo system user that created in step 6. And this ensures that Odoo files are owned by the correct user. Now let's copy the command, and again let's move on to the terminal and use Control Shift V over here and click on enter. Now we just need to provide the clone Odoo repository that use the Git to clone Odoo 18 community repository, and you can just copy the command. Now paste the command over here. So use Control Shift V and click on enter. So we are cloning into here in the Odoo 18. So once that's done, we just need to exit the Odoo session user that will return the regular user account. So you can use exit over here and click on enter. And now that you have cloned the Odoo repository and you are ready to process with the configuration and installation of Odoo. Now we just need to install the required Python package, and that ensures Odoo 18 run smoothly, and you just need to set up Python virtual environment and install required package as well as additional dependencies. To follow that, we have to undergo with certain step, that is installation of Python 3 virtual environment package. To set that, you can use the command sudo apt install -y python 3 venp. So let me copy the command and let's again move on to the terminal. And here use Control Shift V and click on enter. Now we need to create the virtual environment, that is a Python virtual environment. So I'll be copying sudo Python 3 -m venv opt Odoo 18 venv over here. So let me copy that and let's move on to the terminal and use Control Shift V and again click on enter. Now we just need to activate the virtual environment. So you can switch to the Odoo system user and activate the virtual environment. For that, you can use sudo -s and click on enter. And afterwards, you can provide the command cd /opt /odoo 18 and afterwards click on enter. Now we just need to set the command as source when and use the /bin again /activate. So this will activate the virtual environment and again click on enter. So currently you can see that the bin is activated and we just need to install the Python dependencies and we just need to use the pip to install all the required package listed in the requirement text file. So again use the command and let's move on to the terminal and use Ctrl+Shift+V to paste it over here and click on enter. Now we just need to install the wk-html to PDF. That Odoo requires wk-html to PDF to generate PDF report. So we just need to install it and you can use the command and go with the terminal. Use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. Now we just need to install the OpenSSL dependencies that download and install the OpenSSL library if required. So use Ctrl+C and let's move on to the terminal. Use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. Afterwards use the other command. Again use Ctrl+Shift+V in order to paste it over here. And now we just need to install the additional fonts. That is the font package required for wk-html to PDF. So let me copy the command and move on to terminal. Use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. Now we just need to install wk-html to PDF package and again move on to the terminal and use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. Now we just need to fix dependencies issues. If there are any missing dependencies, this command will solve them. So you can just go with sudo apt install -f and again click on enter. And once it's done, we just need to deactivate the virtual environment once you have completely set up the Odoo, and you can just deactivate the virtual environment by simply using deactivate. So let me use deactivate command and click on enter. And currently we have just deactivated the virtual environment, and these steps will ensure all the necessary Python package and system dependencies are correctly installed and setting up your environment for Odoo 18 installation. Now we just need to set up the configuration file. So we just need to copy the default configuration file. Now let me copy the command and let's move on to the terminal and use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. Now we just need to edit the configuration file. So we can just use the command from here and again move on to the terminal. Use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. Now let me copy the command and let's move on to the terminal and use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. Now we just need to edit the configuration file. So we can just use the command from here and again move on to the terminal. Use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. Now we need to modify the configuration file. So you can copy the command and let's move on to the terminal. And here you can use Ctrl+Shift+V. Now use Ctrl+X and afterwards provide Y and click on enter. Now afterwards what you have to use is you just need to set the file permission. So use the command from here and again move on to the terminal. Now we just need to create a directory. To create the directory, you can use the command, which means you just need to copy the command from here, and let's move on to the terminal. And let's provide Control-Shift-V and click on enter. And afterwards, we just need to use the other command. So let me use Control-C and let's go to the terminal. And here you can just use Control-Shift-V and again click on enter. So with these steps, you have set up the configuration file with necessary setups of Odoo 18, and now you are ready to proceed with starting the Odoo service and further configurations. So you can manage Odoo as a service on the Ubuntu server, and you need to create a system service file, and this will allow you to start, stop and enable Odoo to run on boot. Now we just need to create the service file, and we just need to open a system service file for Odoo 18. So use the command and let's move on to the terminal, and again use Control-Shift-V and click on enter. Now once it's done, we just need to add the service configuration. For that we have to paste the following content into the service file. So let me copy it and let's move on to the terminal, and here let's use that and use Control-Shift-V and afterwards click on enter. Now we just need to create a directory. To create the directory, you can use the command, which means you just need to copy the command from here, and let's move on to the terminal, and let's provide Control-Shift-V and click on enter. And afterwards we just need to use the other command. So let me use Control-C and let's go to the terminal, and here you can just use Control-Shift-V and again click on enter. So with these steps, you have set up the configuration file with necessary setups of Odoo 18, and now you are ready to proceed with starting the Odoo service and further configurations. So you can manage Odoo as a service on the Ubuntu server, and you need to create a system service file, and this will allow you to start, stop and enable Odoo to run on boot. Now we just need to create the service file, and we just need to open a system service file for Odoo 18. So use the command and let's move on to the terminal, and again use Control-Shift-V and click on enter. Now once it's done, we just need to add the service configuration. For that we have to paste the following content into the service file. So let me copy it and let's move on to the terminal, and here let's use that and use Control-Shift-V. Now use Control-X, afterwards go with Y in order to proceed, which means we just need to save the modified buffer. So now click on enter. Now we just need to set permission for the service file. So you can just use the command, and let's move on to the terminal, and from here you can use Control-Shift-V and click on enter, and again use the other command, that is Control-C, and use Control tab to get the terminal, and Control-Shift-V, again click on enter. And afterwards we just need to start the Odoo service. For that you can just use the command from here, and let's move on to the terminal and use Control-Shift-V in order to paste it in the terminal and click on enter. Now we just need to access the Odoo in your browser. So here you can see that we can use the command, that is http :// your domain or IP address and the port number. So now we just need to access the Odoo in the browser. So let me copy the command, and we just need to open a new tab in the browser. So use F11 from here, and let's give it over here. Afterwards we can edit this by providing the network IP. So that is 10.0.11.1 18.1.1.1.68. This is the IP of my network. You just need to provide the IP of your network. Now let me click on enter. So we have successfully hosted the Odoo in the server, and now we just need to create the database. To create the database, let's provide the master password, and afterwards you can provide the database name. So let's say Odoo 18.1 over here, and afterwards you can provide the email and password. And if you want to get the demo data, you can just enable this field and click on create database, and here you can see that it takes a little time to create the database. Now here you can see that we have created it, and if you want to just get into the database, here you can provide the password and the email and click on login, and see we have successfully entered into the community of Odoo 18. Now again move on to the blog, and here you can see that we can monitor the Odoo log, which means to monitor the Odoo's log output for any error or status updates, you can use the tail command. So let me copy it, and again let's move on to the terminal and use Ctrl+Shift+V, and let's paste it over here. Now let's try to install an app. So again let's move on to Odoo and click on sales, and here you can see that you can find the status in the terminal, and you can see it's been installing over here, and that will be monitoring in the log. Now here you can see that we have successfully installed the module. Again move on to the blog, and from here you can see that we can enable the Odoo service boot that ensures Odoo starts automatically when the server boots up. So you can copy the command, and again let's move on to the terminal and use Ctrl+Shift+V and click on enter. And afterwards you can provide the other command, that is, if you want to restart the Odoo service, that apply any changes that you have made by restarting the Odoo service, you can also go with the other command. Now click on enter. Okay, so this is how we just set up the Odoo 18 in the server. So by following these steps, Odoo 18 should be running on your Ubuntu 24.04 server accessibly through your browser, and configuration to start automatically on boot. So we have already published installation of Odoo 18 for developers, so you can also watch that. And I hope this video clarifies how to install Odoo 18 in server. And if you want Odoo customization, Odoo implementation, and Odoo tutorial videos, feel free to contact Cybrosys. And I hope this video was informative for you. So please do like, share, and subscribe our channel. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching the video.